We just need the clock to cooperate. Although this one's different than that one. Go on with the clock at the front of the room. Call the infrastructure meeting to order. Notice meeting was properly posted on October the 6th. All three districts are present. Item 1 is to approve the minutes of September 25.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, item 2 is our TIF 2 and TIF 2A budgets.
No changes.
Okay, do you have questions? Otherwise, no action. 3 is possible action on our capital improvements list.
Yeah, I have one thing to discuss. The ICB exterior. We've got an architect ready to go. Contract signed. It's not been across the board yet, but the issue there is making sure we can fund that exterior project. It's not ARPA. It's our regular capital. We probably have about half the money accounted for in the PBA,
Hey, Stace,
and we need to get the other half. And
being a PBA property, do we have this item in PBA? I think we have an item for exterior.
okay, maybe.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
it's on my capital list, so I was gonna.
All right. Yeah.
Joe, I also have a, are you through this, Stacy?
I just wanted to make sure that you guys have a plan for that, so we can get a green light to go ahead with this, because everything else hinges on it.
What are the numbers?
We're gonna need about 3 million.
That's a PBA property. So let's discuss that in PBA. That way we stay on track. Okay. You have something, Charles?
Yeah, I have an item I'd like to add to the capital projects schedule under courthouse, the 9th floor HVAC at an amount of $350,000 to provide that for the 9th floor of the courthouse. It was sorely missing this last year.
All right, I'll add it.
Okay.
You're going to add that under courthouse
But under regress.
unfunded wish list items, right? You kind of reworked as I remember, you had
I know.
reworked it.
I've got
Project
anticipated
anticipated.
projects or archive projects.
I was proposing we put it under project anticipated.
And then the source of funding would not be identified. That's fine with me.
Sure.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 I'll second your motion, Charles.
Thank you.
Anything else, Stace?
Nope.
Okay. Item 4 is discuss possible action regarding our ARPA projects list.
I'll let the owner's rep talk about that one under his item.
Okay, all right, no action unless you have questions on item 4. Item 5 is an update on our courthouse elevators. I think nothing there. We're still proceeding to a good conclusion. Okay.
They say it might be finished this month.
Oh,
How
positive
about
news.
that?
Okay,
A glimmer.
Excellent.
all right.
I mean, motion to receive report.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 6 is discuss possible action regarding the use of part of the annex snack bar for the DA's customer service area. I don't think we need to discuss anything here, okay? No action. 7 is a update from the owner's rep on our ARPA projects. Good morning.
Good morning. I didn't think I'd get to say both teams won one weekend, so it's pretty exciting. Everybody's happy. On the projects, I'll start with the elevators. We've reviewed the scope with the design team, tradesmen. The goal is the scans are complete. The goal is to start 3 different elevator teams, and so they're going to design that way. We'll start in the annex, the metro, and then JJL. 3 different locations, hopefully all at the same time. At least get the elevators ordered and the equipment ordered all for all 3, with the idea of pushing forward with 3 different teams. Really, that's the only update on all the elevators. Juvenile justice pre-construction is this morning. contract signed, and we're preparing notice proceed after pre-construction today. Social distancing, we are no real changes there. Sheriff's Office, Midwest City, we're actually supposed to have the drawings this week, so we'll look forward to that. We're on track for December, January equipment delivery with completion in April. Clerks, no change. Third floor purchasing will be done this week. So working with facilities to figure out the move-in schedule for that project. So we'll have hopefully final inspections this week, late this week. Drainage culvert, inventory, no changes. Juvenile justice roof, the upper area should be complete at the end of the month, and we're still on schedule for January, February completion on all roofs. Camera security, it's complete. We did final inspections last week. Final invoices have been turned in, and we're reviewing those right now. The behavioral science, health services, no change. The jail HVAC, the team's working on the scope, and the design team is reviewing that currently.
May I ask you a question on that,
Yes.
please? The jail HVAC, there was a contract for some design work, I think, done through the trust.
Yes.
And then it was determined that we needed to do some supplemental design work to be able to accomplish the task. Is that?
That is my understanding also.
And then I think that number's around $70,000 to $75,000, and we were trying to identify some money for that. Is that correct?
You actually offered up the money as needed in the capital.
But we're
board
falling
controls.
short on that, I think, if I,
I think you have 360,000 in that account from the budget that was approved. That's the word I got.
okay. Well, if that's the case, that's great, but I really want to circle back on this project and that additional design in order to meet the total scope of the project, whether that is an ARPA eligible expense. Have you all reviewed that to see if that would be an ARPA eligible expense?
It has been designated by Accenture as an ARPA project.
The
We believe it.
construction only.
Yeah, the construction only. We believe it to be because we're changing the airflow, the air distribution in the facility, which we believe is qualifies.
You believe that the design?
The
And-
design portion, probably not.
All right. Okay. So we're back where we are. Thank you. Okay. Hopefully it's the as needed.
Yes, there was concern about the fire suppression having faults but it is currently green tagged.
Thank you. Okay. All righty.
The jail roof replacement, that was approved last week, and the actual contract on that will be approximately $212,000 to start. We may need a little bit of contingency if we find something else, but that's where we're gonna be ballpark. And then on the metal, the first number, the contract number is $11,000, basically, and pending final investigation of all the metal flashings. Once we've been up there and totally investigated all the surroundings, it may approach 30, but right now it's at 11.
Any questions?
No. I'll move to receive report.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank
All
you.
right, Stace. Thank you, sir. Item 8, Stace, is Citizens Advisory Board update.
Yeah, I think as you're aware, they met and they forwarded about 4 sites onto the Board of County Commissioners, and the commissioners have already taken action on that and selected a site. And we're trying to move forward on that site.
Okay. Any questions?
I move to receive report.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do we have any citizens' participation? Board comments? D2,
None.
D3?
No, thank you.
Is there any new business? Seeing none, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It is 10:10, right? No, but the time is 10:10. I think we timed it out.
Your agenda reads 10:15.
We need to back it up. Or 10:05 is actually. Thank you, Cassie. Being 10:15, call the PBA advisory to order. Notice was posted on October the 6th. Item 1 is to approve our minutes of September 25th. I'll move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. 2 is discussion of possible action regarding our ARPA capital projects. Stacy, you want to just bypass this down to the ownership? Okay. No action on item 2. Item 3 is discussion of possible action regarding a request from OG&E to install 300 amp service for chargers.
We've had great conversations and meetings with OG&E on this topic. They want to access the electrical vault that is below the alley in between Metro 1 and Metro 2 to accommodate a fast level 3 charger to be used in Metro 2. I had asked them at the same time whether or not there was enough capacity and whether they would provide us with service should we decide to put our own electric vehicle chargers in place. And they said, yes, they would. So if you would, I'd like to recommend, like for you to recommend that we move forward on this in that direction. We're working with Nikki. She is pursuing a grant for electrical vehicle chargers, the hardware and equipment to do that. This looks promising.
Keith, while OG&E is doing their work, would it be beneficial if we went ahead and did ours, or is it?
They're doing this for us.
They're going to install the chargers for us.
Not install the chargers, but install the backbone and the
Right,
infrastructure.
I'm talking
necessary.
about the chargers as well.
They will help us determine and identify what chargers we want to use. Strange as it seems, they're still learning about the different types of chargers, how they work, how the software can manage the use and so on. So this is really kind of new here.
And then once we do this, it'll afford us an opportunity to generate additional revenue.
That's
correct?
right. They were suggesting that the most expedient place to install these in Metro 2 would be in the alley, parking spaces 31 through 37, which would be limited to electric vehicle usage, and we would have to consider that. We could select other spots, but it's more expensive and less visible and accessible, I think. So
Once you know for certain whether or not this is going to be approved at the PBA level, then you'll begin the process of notifying whoever's in 31 through 37.
yes, I'll tell the occupant with a smile that number 37 is going to have to park someplace in Metro 2.
That's fine. I've got 14.
How long, do you have a feel for how long before it's up and running?
I don't know the question to that. They are going to have to do some digging, trenching, and heavy electrical work just to get service to the location on the north wall of the alley. So I don't know the answer to that question, but there will need to be some of those parking spots vacated while this work is being done.
And that then also raises another question. Will it disrupt any of the traffic flow for people? You know, a lot of people exit the gate and then turn back. And
I
go
don't
over.
think so. I would hope they do their work after hours and on the weekends. I'll find out more about this when we have additional meetings.
Okay, all right. Anyone have a motion? on
Yeah,
this
I move, do we proceed?
I second it.
To proceed with recommending the PBA that we allow OG&E to proceed with the installation of electric service for chargers.
Yes.
And there was a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. 4 is a discussion of possible action on the ICB exterior envelope project.
We had meetings with our interior architect and our exterior architect. The only update here is that it appears we're going to have to add an additional stairwell in the building or exterior to the building for emergency egress. Current code calls for stairwells to be located no more than, I believe it's 100 feet from any location on the floor. So.
Keith, in those preliminary discussions, have you had talk about the cost of an interior stairwell versus an exterior? My assumption would be exterior would be cheaper.
We thought about fire escape. We thought about
Rope ladder.
something, a rope, yeah, rope ladder. That's been thought of before
I
and
won't-
used, I think, but we're getting there.
Okay, all right. And then Stace, this is probably a good place for you all to
we're
discuss
gonna
that.
be short on that exterior funding, and we need replacement money. You guys have been talking quite some time about your bonds. This is a place to get it. I'm just make sure that you're still planning to proceed that way, so that we can feel good about moving forward with our architectural contract and plans, and keep everything moving together.
And I think we've talked about this before, but really the interior project is tied to the exterior project.
More than we
I
realize.
think if
probably.
you ask the architects for both projects, they'd say yes. So Keith, there was going to be a follow-up conversation once we kind of, I think, got the initial 6.5 million guesstimate, about some possible other alternatives to the exterior that might be more in line with the budget. Any movement in that?
Really nothing more other than to say a less expensive approach would be less glass, more brick. And I'd heard that there was some concern about any kind of lateral support that the interior withes give the concrete structure. And I'm not sure where we are with that yet.
And am I thinking about a different project, but were the architects on the exterior going to do some type of presentation?
Yes, that was the hope. Give us a couple options.
Okay.
We're not there yet.
But we're still on track for
Yes.
that. Okay.
How far are we away from presentation?
I can't answer. I don't
Okay.
know.
Well,
Yeah.
if you approve the contract, say Wednesday, then maybe a month away from a presentation, but the further we kick it down, as we
Mhm.
kick the can, then we're just gonna be in a scheduling problem all the way around, so.
What's the amount of shortfall from what we had anticipated before?
About $4 million,
million, I was
$4.5 million, so a substantial sum. And we can always go back to that if you want to paint the building.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
No.
I'll move to receive report.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item 5 is an update on the Kraus building redesign. Nothing's,
Let's let Mr. White talk.
yeah,
about
but
that.
from a design aspect, I believe the BOCC or the PBA signed off on that, correct?
That's right.
All right. So we can remove that item, do you think?
No, I think I'd leave it on.
Okay, all right. Item 6 is discuss possible action on the issuance of revenue bonds. I know we've all been pretty busy and had talked about maybe coming up with some ideas to hash out up here on what we could potentially use these funds for. Let's shoot for next meeting to have that discussion
Let's do.
and see if Mr. Davidson could be here as well. Jared, that is.
Yes, great.
Okay, all right. I guess I'll make a motion on my own statement.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Sorry.
Seven is an update from Mr. White on our ARPA projects for the PBA. Hello again.
Hello again. We'll start with emergency ops. So we have a approved schematic design. We have a budget from Lingo. We have a contract signed by Lingo now that's been amended. It is in Stacy's office and getting ready to be approved, I believe.
Yeah, that'll be approved, this meeting or next.
So we'll begin design development drawings immediately if they haven't already started.
All right, and on that contract, Stacy, it's going to be a three-way contract, Lingo, PBA, and the BOCC, because we're using 3 sources of funding. Right. Correct. Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you for your work on that contract. All right.
Elevators are the same. Everything's been approved for Metro, and the DG should be starting this week. I believe is what Ernesto said. ICB remodel, it is been complicated with the facade. So with the stair requirement, currently the desire is to go interior stairs, to allow for lateral bracing depending on the outside design. So the architect's preference is interior is the way I understand it from our meeting. But we have to decide on the facade. Once we know the facade, then we know the loads and calculations, then we can go from there. So we do need to move forward with a direction on the exterior.
I assume because of the code requirements too, we're limited on where we could even do it if we're doing inside or outside, right? We're pushed to
Yeah,
what I would say the front or the east side of the building. Would that be
Correct.
correct?
now we have some more options interior, but I'll let the architects decide. But
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll move to receive report.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
thank you.
Thank you, sir. Item 8 is related to sending a notice to our tenants in the ICB regarding their vacating the space that they're currently renting. I don't think we're in a position yet to send this. Maybe in the next couple of weeks, we'll have a better idea. Okay. So no action. Citizens' participation. Board comments.
None.
New business. Adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.